He'll come up the far wall. Powell at the blue line throwing. Toward the net, they score! Tipped in front there by Phil Tomacek. Right where he should be. Phil Tomacek opens the scoring in Athens. And congratulations to Donovan Powell, his very first FPHL point. And it looks like they might be looking at this for a high stick. The Cole on the eye, or the Cole Powell coming in today's game at 5'9". And this was a quick review. They are going to call it no goal. For it, ended up taking a good look there, but he got the job done. Now he clogs up the neutral zone. Ends up coming back to Paralat. He'll hang on to a pass on. Run, they score! The trigger on the backhander. Pass for Mack was at his feet. Goes to the corner. Paljean. Bothered there by Ross. Pass out towards the front. Kerr, what a save! They cleared out of there at the very last moment by Donovan Powell. Kerr able to reach out with the glove, made the save. It bounced right up into the air, and Donovan Powell. Careful, Borman, still a defenseman here. Is caught up in the play. Here comes Leapers on a break. Leapers to the backhand, hooked up by Willett. We might get a penalty shot. There's a delayed penalty calling. And it is going to be a penalty shot for the second straight game. He's also got some ECHL experience with wheeling. Here comes Leapers down the gut, trying to go 5-hole, and Kerr knocks it away on the penalty shot. Opinion is the rebound control. He's had a little bit of luck for sure. He's had two squeak through him and go off the irons. Here Shinkara coming right down the gut. Try to throw it out in front. Lays loose in the slot. They heck out it. Pulled out of there by Bormanis. As Chris Kerr now heading off the ice. He's slumping down a little bit. May have injured himself on that last. Yeah, it looks like he's coming off the ice. So Chris Kerr, he has been brilliant, and a lot of his opportunities as he gets no tough spot there. It is Olsen, Croucher on a mini breakaway out in front, able to bat that one home. His 19th of the season in Athens. High up into the air. Back to get it as Maye. Needs two different Sentinels players. Wrap around, they score! Corey Cunningham on the turnover. There were three white sweaters below the goal line. That typically is terrible news, but hit Johnson out in the neutral zone. He chips it past Hippolyte Smith. Finding it there, Paralat in front, they score! Devin Maye able to find that puck on the back door and power it past Cooper Olsen, who was full. Croucher got an extra hack at it right out in front, and Olsen swatted it aside with a pass. Turnover, Hippolyte Smith down low for Cunningham. Throws it on goal, he scores! Turnover inside Athens zone and Corey Cunningham. The neutral zone. Gus Ford over the line will fire one. That one goes up off the glass. Held in at the point, Neely. Moving it down the wall, Virgili. Shinkarik will walk the line. Leaving it off to Ford. Up top, Shinkarik. The shot tip, they score! Carter Shinkarik from the blue line. Russo, he'll move it up to Cunningham, 2-on-2 through the neutral zone. Cunningham leaving it to Dawson. And Cunningham going to the net, lost right in behind the goaltender, and they score! It was in behind the goaltender. They were hacking and whacking, and it looked like it was underneath his pad for a moment. Ended up popping free for Jonas Lees. He puts it home. Almost a little friendly fire. Now Johnson, away from the poking stick of Willett, will leave it for DePerrier. He's gone. Russo at the blue line. Over to Zinchenko. That shot redirected on net. Maybe never made it through. Cleared up the wall and out to center ice by the Rock Lobsters. So a great job by Athens to shut down the middle of the ice here in the last minute and a half. Sentinels going to lose this game by a score of 5-3 as we get the problem now along the wall. Jonas Lees getting thrown around a little bit. Dawson coming in to help him out. He and Powell getting into it. Now, behind all of them, I believe that's Cunningham, who's tied up with Luke Croucher. I don't think the Sentinels appreciated that late hit against Jonas Lees. A temper's now starting to cool down. Oh, maybe not, is now Colarusso mixing it up a little bit. Referees get in between everybody, and that will do it. So Athens picks up the 5-3 victory over the Sentinels here in game number 1 of the weekend.
All right. Sorry about the microphone issues there, folks, but that was last night's hockey game. Looks like we're back live now. That was last night's hockey game, and it was like I said, a very good hockey game, a solid effort for a full 60 minutes from the Indiana Sentinels. They didn't just roll over. Looking at the Athens Rock Lobsters, I mean, especially with the opening disallowed goal from Phil Tomacek that very easily could have set the Sentinels back, if anything, made them a little hungrier at that. So, if anything, they needed to be a bit cleaner in the defensive zone, clearing their puck out. I made mention of it a couple of times that they really needed to be better at getting it out on the first try. You don't want to give Athens any more juice than they can already put together themselves. So, did talk a little bit before the game with Zach Ross. Let's hear what he had to say. All right, downstairs pregame with Zach Ross, defenseman of the Indiana Sentinels, one of our newer additions. How you enjoying Indiana so far?
Oh, it's been great. It's been a blast being in Indiana so far. Everyone's been so welcoming, been so nice. So yeah, I've been enjoying my time so far for sure.
Played last night against Athens in a really, really good hockey game, and I think one of the players that the guys looked towards yesterday was you. I mean, you were jumping up into the play in all facets. You had a breakaway that, in my opinion, probably should have been a penalty shot. Just what were you feeling yesterday? Was it just one of those days where you felt great, or what?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Yards, he talks about jumping in the rush all the time, getting involved. So I think yesterday I was just doing a good job of picking my spots and making plays when I was joining the rush. Just trying to keep it simple and making plays. So that's kind of the game plan going into tonight too, and just pick your spots and be effective when you go, for sure.
When I talked to you this morning, I called you Moses because the Red Sea just parted for you there in that breakaway. Talk to us about the thought process that you had when you saw that opening happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I had a real clean-cut breakaway like that. But I was just, staying calm, protecting the puck there, and just trying to find a way to get a good shot off. Unfortunately, I didn't get one, but we drew the penalty, so that was good enough there for me. So we got the nice power play, and we just got to make sure the power play is clicking again tonight.
It's a Star Wars night here tonight against Athens. Are you a big Star Wars guy?
I'm a little bit of a Star Wars guy. I've watched the movies, so I know what's up, but I got to catch up on Disney Plus, I think.
Well, don't watch the last two. They're all terrible. In any case, going to be a packed barn here tonight. What are you guys' game plan coming into today? More of the same, or are we trying to focus on some different areas?
Yeah, I mean, we played a pretty good game yesterday, I thought, for the most part. So I think that effort is just going to have to continue tonight. Game plan is going to be pretty similar. You watch the film in the mornings, make some adjustments, just some minor tweaks here and there. Try and get better. So, yeah, I mean, mostly the same. We just got to come out with the effort and energy that we did last night, and then we should have a good result tonight.
All right, that's Zach Ross. We'll send it back upstairs for the Body Armor pregame show. All right, big thanks to Zach Ross for taking a little time to talk with us. He also snuck his head in the last interview with Corey Cunningham yesterday. I don't know if you can see it. He was just kind of bouncing around in the background, acting a fool. All right, we'll step aside real quick for a commercial break. We'll be back right after this with the Body Armor pregame show on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
His entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
All right, welcome back. Well, with Athens and Monroe both winning last night, Athens has a chance tonight to clinch the Continental Division. Let's take a quick look at exactly what needs to happen in order for Athens to clinch. So they must win in regulation, get the full 3 points, and Monroe must lose in regulation tonight in order for Athens to clinch the Continental Division. So they want that in the bag before heading to Monroe next week to ensure that they can save some of their top guys for the playoff run. The games that they play against Monroe are certainly they're beaters, that's for sure. You come away black and blue afterwards. And you know, the Sentinels, they really put a seed of doubt into the Crustaceans last night with a solid effort from top to bottom. It should be a solid contest tonight, with the Sentinels coming off of a very good performance in Athens, needing to get a big win, and in front of a massive crowd here on Star Wars night. Looking at the seats online today, there's only one seat left to be sold, so really cool stuff here in Athens. A guy who's looking to make his mark tonight is John Werber, back in the spotlight in the blue paint. So he's back in the blue paint there for Indiana is John Werber, 7-13-2. He went up to Fayetteville and only got 20 minutes in, made 5 saves on 6 shots. So really the last start that he had was here with the Sentinels. So it should be an interesting game back for John Werber. The Sentinels will be running 5 defensemen again tonight, with Seth Bacon still unable to play. So expect Blake Peavy to step up and drop back to the D role if needed. And speaking of Blake Peavy, big congratulations to him. It's his 200th career FPHL game tonight. Yesterday he had his parents and other family in the stands. Tonight he's got a whole lot of family and friends and even old fans from Carolina in the stands cheering him on. So super cool there for Blake Peavy as well. All right, I have 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, same start as last night. The Sentinels put Rock Lobsters on their heels. The Athens didn't really know what to do with Indiana for the first, I would say, about 5 to 10 minutes of the hockey game. It wasn't until Athens was able to put one on the board that they really started to feel a little more comfortable. So same start as last night, and don't pull your foot off the gas like you did yesterday. Keep your foot on the gas as long as you can. More physicality. I'd like to see some checks getting finished here on the Athens Rock Lobsters. They don't like getting hit. They don't like getting disrupted trying to get into the offensive zone and win the blue lines. I mentioned it earlier. You have to win the blue lines. Get the puck out of your own end on the first try and keep it in their zone. All right, that'll do it for the Body Armor pregame show. We'll step aside and be back with the drop of the puck right after this. You're watching the Indiana Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
It's Sentinels hockey time.
Well, we welcome you inside Athens Ford Arena. It's the Athens Rock Lobsters and the Indiana Sentinels here on Star Wars night. This place is rocking. We've got lightsabers all over. Fun fact, I almost took a puck to the mouth trying to film this video for you guys. So, media guy nearly taking one right in the teeth. But yes, we welcome you inside Athens Ford Arena. Should be a real good contest here tonight between the Indiana Sentinels and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Sentinels wearing some practice blue jerseys here today. We auctioned off our other jerseys on our last home game, so these blue jerseys, had to get them on short notice, but they look great. How great is it to have a guy like John Werber back, especially after last night with Chris Kerr going down. We got all the faith in the world in a guy like Cooper Olsen, but you never want to play around with only one goaltender on the bench, so it was lucky that Werber was available and close by in Fayetteville as well. He was able to drive overnight, just about to come and meet us here. The starting lineups for your Indiana Sentinels. Up front, Maximus Merrick-Tortorella, Christers Bormanis, and Bozinchenko. American back in the lineup after being scratched last night. Ivan Panovanov and Zach Ross are the D pairing to kick it all off, and as I mentioned, John Werber back in between the cage. Your starting goaltenders for tonight, Werber with a 7-13-2 record. He's got a 401 goals against and an 892 save percentage with the Sentinels. His last two games have been great. The last game he played with Indiana was on the 14th against the Scarecrows, where he made 39 saves on 41 shots, and that 5-2 win. And Matt Sales will get the go once again here for the Rock Lobsters. He's 7-4 now with the 357 goals against and an 892 save percentage. Last night, he made 27 saves on 29 shots. We'll go downstairs for the national anthem. Very well done on the national anthem. And you see the Rock Lobsters are rocking some specialty jerseys tonight for Star Wars night. All right, so here's my thing. I'm a big Star Wars guy. If you're doing a Star Wars night, they've got Stormtrooper uniforms that they're wearing. Those are the bad guys. Why are we dressing up as bad guys? And I know red is also their color, but they've also got a whole bunch of red lightsabers all around. Those are the bad lightsabers. You want blue or green? Well, that's just me. So I guess what I'm saying are the good guys are wearing blue in today's game, no matter how you cut it. Good guys are wearing blue, bad guys are wearing white and red in today's game. Should have a real good one on deck. How about, I didn't mention it in the pregame show, and I really wanted to. We were a little pressed for time, and I had some audio issues. But how about the debut last night for Donovan Powell? He was all over it, and he led the team in shots on goal with 6 on the night. So Donovan Powell not afraid or not nervous at all for his first FPHL game, and was ready to go right off the bat. And, you know, he drove to the net. He got into the hard areas. He made plays. He was the whole reason, really, why that Phil Tomacek goal that ended up getting disallowed because of a high stick went in. But just a very good debut performance for Donovan Powell. Excited to see what he's got here in game number 2. Basically a seasoned veteran now in 2 games. All right, we are underway here in Athens. The first period of Sentinels hockey is always brought to you by Sprague Hotel Developers. Athens controls in the offensive zone. Mack has it. He opened the scoring last night. Shot from the blue line, redirected on its way through. Bounces wide of Werber. Now Caljon will let that one go. Tortorella there. He'll flip it high through the air and out to the neutral zone, where Bozinchenko gets stopped up just at the Rock Lobster blue line. Caljon will bring it right back in. He'll snap one wide of Werber. That wraps around the wall and ends up coming back out to center ice. Powell able to chop at that one and knock it away from Shinkaruk. Carried on by the Rock Lobsters. 2-on-3 as they're finishing up a line change. The cross ice pass to Flex. Picked up by Hiplet Smith. He'll find Powell. He'll hit the blue line, dump that one in, and just like yesterday, got behind the goaltender, up into the air and never went in. Boy, that's a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday. A long shot from the blue line goes off the top of the goaltender, straight up into the air, and he nearly put this one in. I mean, that is pretty much the exact same play. Take a look at the replay here as here comes Powell. He throws it up. It ends up hitting the goaltender, bounces on top of his arm, and almost into the back of the net. Unbelievable how that didn't go in. Face off to the left-hand side. Matt Sales goes in behind the net. Shinkaruk. Cunningham all over him, forces a turnover, comes in behind Lease, has it knocked away from him, and Lowell for the Rock Lobsters will control. Back in behind Shinkaruk. His outlet pass ends up going out to the neutral zone. Here's Lowell looking in the middle of the ice. There's a pass, a backdoor pass there from Kolatarsi, right onto the stick of Neely, and Neely, little in tight there, fired it wide. Now Powell will walk out of the defensive zone. He'll backhand this one in deep and chase after it as his teammates go off for a line change. Cleared up the wall and out to the neutral zone. Peavy had his feet taken out from underneath him. We play on. This one gets dumped in. Werber will set it up in behind his net for Willette. Dumped right back into the Sentinel zone. Panavanov from behind his own goal looking at his options. There's 2 white jerseys right in his face. Now 1. He'll bank it off the glass and out to the neutral zone. Not too much further than that, though, as it gets turned right back in by Athens. Cross-ice pass bounces high up into the air. Wrapped around the wall for Willett. And now Powell will bank this one out to the neutral zone, right in the waiting hands of the Rock Lobsters. Jonathan Bartuccio Pereira scored the 5th goal yesterday. That was pretty much the cherry on top that sealed the deal for the Rock Lobsters. Now Maximus Merrick Tortorella, the backhander in front. That's stopped by Sales. He'll hang on to it. Boy, that puck just found Tortorella as he was driving to the net. Good things happen if you go to the goal, and Tortorella trying to power that one home from between his legs with him facing the wrong direction almost. And Sales is able to hang on to it. So another really good start here for the Sentinels. With 16:58 left to play here in the first period. Now we're getting a conversation with the officiating staff here. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. Now they're talking to Everett Thompson. Your officials today, Bob Langdon and Chris Hoy, are the referees. Sean Oram and Isaac Kessler, your linesmen. Like I didn't see anything happen behind the play, but there's something that Everett Thompson certainly wants to make sure is made aware to the officiating staff. And now they're over talking to Garrett Rutledge, the head coach for the Athens Rock Lobsters in his first season with Athens. And we are good to go again. Face-off staying inside the Athens zone to the left-hand side of Sales. Bormanis in on this draw for the Sentinels. They win it. Goes back to the blue line. Colarusso didn't want to pinch in there. He saw 3 white jerseys coming at him. Made the smart play there to make sure that he was taking care of the defensive side of things before trying to keep that play alive. Wrapped around the wall in the Sentinel zone. Bormanis will chip it ahead. Tortorella puts it out to the neutral zone. Waiting there is Zinchenko. 2-on-1 maybe with Colarusso. Zinchenko, the shot in tight. That one's blocked away by Sales. Goes up into the air once again. Boy, keep throwing it on that blocker's side because that puck shoots directly up into the air and Sales has no clue where it's at. Zinchenko battling along the wall. Will wrap it in behind. Was hoping to get Bormanis, but Bormanis was right next to him. And it's forced out by Malik Johnson and down. We'll get another icing call here on the Rock Lobsters. Well, after last night, the Empire division is fully locked up. Topeka locks up their playoff spot with a 6-0 victory over the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Danbury is officially eliminated from playoff contention. But you see there at the bottom, only 5 points separating the Sentinels and the Watertown Wolves. So if the Sentinels finish off strong here this season, and the Wolves, they play Binghamton today. If they struggle, this one rolls in on goal, stopped by Werber. Sentinels have a chance to get out of the basement. It's those tiny little victories that, for a team like the Sentinels in their inaugural season, having a bit of a tougher year, those small little victories of not being at the bottom, not being in the basement, that make you feel a little bit better going into next season. Jonas Lease on the draw here in his own end. Going up against Ford. Ford wins it back. D-to-D they go. Redirect by Lowell in front. Didn't miss by much. He had terrain all over him as well. And the Sentinels will clear. Chasing after it is Cunningham. He had 2 last night. Corey Cunningham. Now in behind a wraparound shot there from Dawson, nearly squeaking through the goaltender Sales, who took a sneaky peek behind to make sure that did get underneath his arm. Great start here for the Sentinels. 4 minutes and 20 seconds in. That play starts in behind the net, below the goal line. On a good forecheck from Cunningham, Dawson carries on and takes a turnaround shot from just about the bottom of the circles and Sales able to pin that one to his side and not let it seep through, pardon. Now here come the Rock Lobsters coming in. The first shot on net for John Werber that he sees goes right off his noggin. That's a shot from Neely that ends up popping the buckles on Werber's helmet, so we'll get a whistle. 15:30 left to play here in the first period. That one went directly off of Werber's bucket. Now, pardon, that is his second shot on net. Here's Shinkarik from the blue line. That one goes off the shaft of the stick of Werber and cleared out of there by the Sentinels. Turn right back in by the Rock Lobsters. Good step up there by Panovanov on Ford, not allowing him to get to the net. Now Shinkarik unable to get that puck in deep. Panovanov will wrap it around. Lowell is there to pick up that dump in. He'll send it out to the neutral zone. Colarusso, D for Panovanov. He takes a hit but makes a play. He's able to release that puck to Colarusso. He looks up ahead, deflected in deep there by Powell. Dustin Paralat from behind his own goal will wrap it up the wall and out to the neutral zone it comes. Galloping here is Bartuccio Pereira, leaving it off to the side for Croucher. He's denied by Werber. Short side save with the right pad, or the left pad, pardon. Tortorella intercepts in the neutral zone. Bouncing puck right above the logo. Ends up back in the Rock Lobster hands. And they'll start moving in over the line. Virgili stopped up just inside the Sentinels' blue line. Zinchenko takes a hit, loses control of the puck. And now it's Dustin Paralat. Working on a 5-game point streak is Paralat. Had an assist last night, or 2 assists last night, pardon. Below the goal line it goes. Out to the point, D to D. Maillet, his shot. Oh, Werber didn't see it, but it went just wide of the net and chipped out to the neutral zone. Maillet will bring it right back again. Holding on to it, his shot. Werber, the save, also took a bit of a sneaky peek behind just to make sure that didn't get through and over the goal line, but he was able to pin it to the ice. We are scoreless here, about 6.5 into period number 1. You're watching the Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Vitamin water helps keep me hydrated. Encore. After encore. After encore. Next thing you know, it felt just like this. Come on. Vitamin water from New York.
Welcome back to Athens. We just had the Cantina Cam here on the scoreboard. Star Wars night never fails, honestly. Star Wars night always pulls in a phenomenal crowd. Big stop there from John Werber just before we went to break, able to pin that puck to the ice and not let it slide underneath him. That is not the kind of goal that the Sentinels would have wanted to give up, so good on Werber to make sure he was sitting on top of it and not moving any more than he needed to, just in case he knocks it into his own goal. Here's Caljon, his snapshot from the circle. Werber gobbles that one up, takes it right in the crest. Shots now reading 7-4 in favor of the Rock Lobsters. Zinchenko, Bauer, Bormanis, the forward unit here with Terrain and Peavy on the back end. If you're just tuning in, mentioned it on the Body Armor pregame show, but this is game number 200 in the FPHL for Captain Sentinel Blake Peavy. There's a wrist shot. Werber snaps that right out of the air. Nice shot there from Mack to let it go from the tops of the circle, and Werber ready for it. Blake Peavy with a illustrious FPHL career. 200th game. He's 2 points away from 100. I was talking to him before the game. He actually didn't realize that this was 200 today. He knew it was coming up, just didn't know how soon it was, but he certainly didn't know that he was close to 100 points. So said he's ready to knock both out in one game here. So hoping for a big game for Peavy. Here's a pass out front. They score! Zach Ross on the pass from below the goal line. Sales had no clue where it was. Zach Ross pinching in from the blue, fires it home. Sentinels up 1-0. On the dump, and it skips past the defenseman. Bauer the first one after it from in behind. Great look there from Bauer to hit his man coming in from the blue right at the tops of the circles. And Indy getting on the board first. Zach Ross picking up his third goal of the season and his first in the last 10 games. You can tell by the way he was playing yesterday, he was right on it. Here's a chance again for Hippolyte to the backhand, and a good stop from Sales as he was able to get a pad on it. So shifts after a goal last night for the Sentinels were a bit of a problem, after scoring a goal at least. So that's a very good start to the shift for Indiana. Hippolyte Smith driving right to the net, nearly making it 2-0. Dumped in by the Rock Lobsters. And behind the net, pulled out of there by Leifers. He's hit by Colarusso, whose stick is caught up in Leifers' arm. We play on. DDD, they go up top. Sent down low over Geely after it. Leaves it for Croucher. He'll come out the far side. Bormanis knocking him to the ice. Nice job. Couldn't clear, though. Held in nicely by Paralat at the blue line. Now, finally, the Sentinels will get it out to the neutral zone. Might have some numbers here. Bormanis, he's got a man going to that. There's Powell. Missed the net on the near side. Now a try from Bormanis along the goal line. That misses. Here's Powell in front. Couldn't get the shot away. Boy, the Rock Lobsters not doing a very good job at the offensive blue line, at the Sentinels blue line, giving up plenty of odd man chances to Indiana. Here's Mack walking in, firing, goes up off the glass. Tortorella, he'll clear. Goes down the ice, it's rolling, and oh, they call it an icing. That never hit the goal line. Everett Thompson is livid on the bench, as well he should be. That was an even race to the tops of the circles. He's saying that this faceoff should come to the neutral zone. You see that chance there from Mack, missing the net. Oh boy, this is a tough call from the officiating staff as we play on. Inside the Sentinel zone we go. Johnson looking to the middle of the ice, stepped up by Lease. Johnson will throw it out to the blue line. Long wrist shot deflecting off of a leg of Tortorella and out of play. Good shot block there by Merrick. Maximus Merrick Tortorella getting out to the blue line. Tortorella, a healthy scratch last night. Those are the kind of things that the coaching staff loves to see, getting back into the lineup. Selling out the body inside the defensive zone. He's also had a couple chances offensively as well. As here's a Sentinels 2-on-2 back the other way. Dawson pulling up, firing it on net, and it's gobbled up by Sales. He'll hold on to it with 11:01 left to play in the period. Now that Sentinels goal by Zach Ross, assisted by Bauer and Bormanis. And for Ross. That's his first goal in a Sentinel sweater. This one gets dumped in. Sales able to knock that one down and play it off for his defenseman. Flipped out to the neutral zone. Whiff, though. Dawson carries on. Now Cunningham, a give and go, gets it right back, walks in and wires. Oh, boy. His stick went further than the puck did. Cunningham, we play on. I thought I heard a whistle. We did not. Cunningham's stick exploded, went flying into the air. It was a stop by Sales, and because Cunningham was the only player there and he had no stick, Sales was able to play that, and Athens cleared. Here come the Rock Lobsters, dumped around by Shinkarik to the opposite side. Zinchenko trying to pitch it up the wall, but that's held in by Bartuccio Pereira. Left for Neely, his shot misses wide on the glove side. Bauer will smack this one out to the neutral zone. Taken right back in by Athens. Bartuccio Pereira moving it down. There's Gus Ford. He'll walk up the wall, try to cycle it down low. Johnson is there. He'll move it along. Neely back for Ford. Oh, trying to sneak in back door, but Panovanov didn't allow a clean shot attempt. Bauer now a hard wraparound, gets a bounce off the stanchion, but right to Ford in the slot. Couldn't get the shot through Hippolyte Smith. Good stick there by Hips, able to get right in the lane and block that Gus Ford attempt. Here's Ford again. We'll move it off to Bartuccio Pereira. Can't get the pass through. Panovanov in the way. And now cleared all the way down. Tomacek is going to save icing as one of the Rock Lobsters. Ate at the Sentinels blue line, fell down. Now Lowell leaving it for Ford, walking in. The wraparound attempt. Couldn't get it to the goal. Back to Lowell. The shot selling out as Tomacek took that one off the side. Ford at the near blue line. Had it bounce off his stick. Lease unable to redirect that one in, so we get yet another icing call, but this one coming at a commercial break. The Sentinels lead 1-0 thanks to the first goal in a Sentinel uniform by Zachary Ross. We'll be back right after this on the Sentinel Hockey Network.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter, and it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope, it's in our blood.
Nothing Sentinels with 8:43 left to go in the first period. They ice the puck, so the draw will come all the way back into the Sentinel zone with Lease, Tortorella, and Powell out there. Terrain and Colarusso, the defenseman. Leafers on the draw here against Lease. Leafers will win it straight back in between both Maye and Michael Greco, and they'll chase after it. Here's Maye. He'll chip and chase after it. They battle for it along the wall. Virgili trying to come out toward the middle of the ice. Swiped away from him, but Leafers keeps it alive at the blue line for at least a moment. Sentinels unable to clear. Croucher will wrap it around the wall to the near side, near that Zamboni door in the corner. Greco looking at his options. Virgili carries on, try to cycle it, but Terrain read it all the way. He'll bank it off the boards and out to the neutral zone and down. Virgili here at center ice. Moving it up ahead for Leafers, bouncing off the check of Peavy. Leafers looking to the middle. Willett, nice job with the stick. Straight on the ground, flush on the ground. Able to deny that pass from getting out to the middle of the ice. Peavy and Virgili tied up in behind. Bormanis trying to pull that free. Croucher knocking Bormanis down. Croucher comes free with it. Turnaround pass to the slot. Peavy gets a stick on it. And Tortorella moving it along to Bormanis. He'll boot it out to the neutral zone. Bormanis not thrilled about that check from Croucher. That looked like it was right on the side. Now Mack holding on to a pass out front. Oh, tried to hit the man backdoor Malik Johnson, but Johnson unable to get any wood on it. He's got it in behind, does Johnson. Walking out towards the front, Peavy getting in his way, knocks it off his stick, and Bormanis will flip it up ahead. Cunningham bunting it forward around a check. Cunningham into the backhand. Big save by Sales. The rebound from in behind. Sales is able to stop that from coming through, and now Cunningham getting tied up in behind the net. We've got some trouble with he and Keljan. Cunningham and Keljan going after. Cunningham on the ground. Keljan got him in a headlock. Well, I don't know if you can necessarily call it a fight. No punches were thrown. The gloves were really never dropped. But both guys will certainly sit down. And it looks like, yeah, we are going to go 4-on-4 here. As you see this all start, Keljan giving a shoulder into Cunningham. That puck was free, so if he's upset with Cunningham for hacking at the goaltender, that puck was live. But he takes Cunningham down to the ground. And I believe, yeah, we will go 4-on-4 here for the next 2 minutes. So lots of ice to be had, and the Sentinels moving really good here today. But we also know that Athens can push the pace as well. They'll come away with the puck off the faceoff. Chipped in deep by Lowell. Unable to really get through Panavano as Panavano pins him up along the wall. Neely and Ross now in there trying to help poke that puck free. It's wrapped up the wall. Ford to pick it up. He'll go out to the high point. Now Neely down low. Switching with Paralat. Neely now circling up high, leaving it to Ford. Around Powell. Ford at the circles. Walking. Can't find a shooting lane. Coming out now the near side. He'll turn on a dime. Ford in Gretzky's office. Going to Paralat. Now up top for Neely. The spinorama. Got Gretzky and Savard out there for the Rock Lobsters. Here's Ford. Leaving it to Neely. Neely still staying around the outsides. Athens desperate to try to penetrate the middle of the ice, but they can't find a way. They score! Shot from the circles, above the circles from Gus Ford. Will beat John Werber, and for Gus Ford, that is goal number 200 in his FPHL career. He is only the 6th player of all time to score 200 goals, along with Tyler Jurich, Ahmed Mahfouz, Dalton Jay, Justin Bronson, and Johnny Ruiz. So congratulations to Gus Ford as he ties this game at 1. Well, I mentioned they were desperate to try to penetrate the middle of the ice or to find a way to shoot the puck on net with some bodies going to the goal. You saw in the replays. Here's a turnover. Chance there in front for Shinkarik, but he stepped up on by Romeo Terrain. So it's floated ahead. Colarusso able to get a stick on it to knock it into the offensive zone. Now over the line, Shinkarik, the pass out in front for Maye. Couldn't get the redirect. Werber knocks it away with a pad, and it goes out to the neutral zone where Croucher will recollect. Maye holding on to it. Will float it out in front. Nobody home. Will let. Able to take that away, and it's cleared by Bormanis out to the neutral zone, into the waiting hands, though, of the Rock Lobsters. Shinkarik waiting for his teammates to finish up a line change. So we are now back at 5-on-5. Up to the Sentinel blue line. It bounces to Maximus Merrick Tortorella. He'll leave it off to Peavy and behind the net. Now Tortorella will wrap it around, held in at the blue line by Bartuccio Pereira. He'll exit out the far side, pass to Johnson. Couldn't get the shot away. Out to the blue line. Cunningham right in the way. He'll take that away and start floating that ahead. Bouncing puck on net. Gobbled up by Sales. And he will hang on to it. 4:14 on the clock. We are tied at 1 thanks to the 200th FPHL goal by Gus Ford. We'll be back right after this on the Sentinel Hockey Network. Back in Athens. As it reads right now, Sentinels leading in shots on goal 10-9. Faceoff will stay inside the Rock Lobster end. Everett Thompson electing to go with the forward unit of Dawson, Elise, and Zinchenko with Zach Ross and Panavanov on the back end. On the face-off, draw one by Dawson out to the blue line. Panavanov takes a hit but gets the puck in deep. Lease battling after it. Lease picked up a goal yesterday. And now floated out to the neutral zone. Ross there to turn it right back for Indiana. Zinchenko leaving it off to Panavanov. He'll hit the red and dump it in. Skips past Sales, will wrap around to the opposite side. Dawson unable to pull it off the wall. And Athens will cut on out to the neutral zone. That pass misfires though for Bartuccio Pereira. And Dawson will pick it up and set it up inside his own zone. Sentinels finishing up a line change. Panavanov looking up ahead, redirected by Hippolyte Smith into the offensive zone. He's the first one to get it. Trying to leave it for Tomacek, a one-time attempt. That puck was airborne and Tomacek couldn't get any wood on it. Now Hips will chip it back in again. 1-on-2 in the corner, then gets his feet taken out from underneath him. They battle for it, pops out towards the blue line. Colarusso had thoughts of pinching in to grab that, but Johnson got in his way. And now out to the neutral zone. Hippolyte Smith. Back for Colarusso. Powell right there in the slot, or in the middle of the ice. Had to roll over his stick, and now Colarusso going to get tagged here for a slashing call. Knocked the stick out of Lever's hands. And late here in the period, Sentinels are going to go to the Powerade penalty kill for the first time today. It'll be Richie Colarusso for a slash. So the Powerade penalty kill, which was 2 for 3 last night. Only goal that they gave up was to Shinkarik. It was a shot from the blue line that hit Jonas Lease on the way through. Here's Shinkarik again. He'll snap that one wide, and the net wraps around the wall to the opposite side. Shinkarik up top. That's where he scored his goal. Shinkarik holding, firing, blocked on the way through by Peavy. Took it right in the stomach. Peavy shaking that one off as he clears it down the length. Mentioned it yesterday, 10 shorthanded goals given up by Athens, so if you've got the opportunity, don't be afraid to take it. Rock Lobsters will start motoring out to the neutral zone. Neely has Tortorella all over him, stripping him from behind. He'll take it and he'll clear. He had Dawson going up the ice, but smart play there by Tortorella to clear that one down and get a fresh slate of players. About a minute gone on this power play as Athens will enter the zone. Neely will send it up the wall. Mack at the blue line, walking to the middle of the ice. Here's Shinkarik. Fakes the one-timer, will hold it at the circles now. Fire one, hit his own man in front. Neely now for Gili. Couldn't get anything on the shot. Taken away by Zinchenko. He'll come out to the neutral zone one-on-one. Zinchenko around a check. Walking, shoots. Hit off the goalpost. Oh, I thought he scored. The light went on for a brief moment. Comes all the way back out to center ice. Ross will rag it back in behind his own goal. Boy, was that close. They're looking at the iPad right now, are the Sentinels coaching staff, and Joey Robb, the equipment manager, taking a quick look at it. Here's Lowell. He'll hold on to it. Wrapping it around the wall. Croucher at the near point. We'll put it right back down low. The penalty about to expire. Out to the blue line they go on the far side. Snapshot redirected toward the goal, but blocked by Terrain. Goes back to Leifers. His pass out to the blue line. Colarusso there, nearly able to strip that one away, but lost his edge, and Croucher will rag it back in his own end with under a minute to play in the period. This one is sent out of play, and we will get a whistle with 43 seconds left to play in the first period. I believe that puck went into the Rock Lobster bench. Boy, was that a close call with Bo Zinchenko a couple of moments ago. That either hit right where the crossbar and the post connect, or it hit just inside the goal. Either way, we play on. We stay 1-1. And the light behind flashed ever so briefly. This one's dumped in by the Rock Lobsters. Bounced to Johnson. Couldn't get the shot off. Rolled off the end of his stick as he tried to corral it. Artuccio Pereira will go D to D. Send up ahead for Virgili. Willett in his way. Cunningham will take over in the neutral zone with 10 seconds on the clock. Cunningham over the line, will walk into the backhand, let it go. Oh man, that nearly fooled Sales. Cunningham skating to his right, took a backhander. That went to the left-hand side, and Sales got just enough of the blocker on it. The period comes to a close. What a great first period for the Indiana Sentinels. Unofficial shots through one are 11-10 in favor of Indiana. They opened up the scoring with Zach Ross at the 13-minute mark. His first in an Indy sweater, only to be answered by Gus Ford's 200th career FPHL goal with 5:46 left to go on the clock. We will step aside for the intermission break and be back with the second period right after this. You're watching Indiana Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Scott&His entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
We welcome you back to Athens Ford Arena. The Sentinels and the Rock Lobsters tied at 1 through 20 minutes of play. I mentioned yesterday, when you're on the road, if you can come away with a tie, that's a win on the road. And The Sentinels not only tied with Athens, they're out shooting them 11-10 through 20 minutes of play, and there's no argument. They were absolutely the better team in that period from the very drop of the puck. So the Sentinels, who took their foot off the gas ever so slightly in the second period yesterday, maybe saw a bit of fatigue in the second period yesterday, cannot afford to let that happen today and give Athens any breathing room. Otherwise, we might be looking at a much different score after 40 minutes. So don't let that good effort in the first go to waste with a lackadaisical second. So the first period, there was only one penalty, and it went to Richie Colarusso. The Sentinels able to kill it off. It was a slashing call with 2:58 left to play in the period. Sentinels opened the scoring with Zach Ross getting a beautiful feed from Brendan Bauer from below the goal line. He was able to pinch in from the blue and slap one just over the shoulder of a very surprised Matt Sales. He had no clue where the puck was at, and it went behind him for the very first goal in a Sentinel uniform for Zach Ross. And the Athens Rock Lobsters were able to answer with the 200th career goal for Gus Ford. That also extends his point streak to now 12 games in a row, 10 goals, 13 assists, 22 points in those 12 games. And that is now his 11th goal in an Athens uniform in now 11 games played. So he has been a great pickup from the Twin City Thunderbirds for Athens to help them bolster this already very heavily offensive lineup. Taking a quick look around the league at what's going on right now in the FPHL. Danbury and Port Huron tied at 1 in the first intermission, about to get started with the second period. Here in Athens, we're tied at 1. Twin City, with a big win yesterday, are within striking distance of PD in the standings. They lead at 1-0. Now on the road up against the Ice Cats. Well, that is another huge game. That will be a whole lot of fun to watch. Black Bears and Watertown tied up at 1 late in the first period there, and later on tonight, Columbus and Monroe will get to work. Monroe winning last night over Columbus. Blue Ridge and Biloxi. Blue Ridge beating Biloxi last night 6-1, and Topeka and Baton Rouge. Topeka won 6-0 last night over Baton Rouge. All those games starting at 8:05 Eastern Time. We'll step aside for the rest of intermission and be back with the second period right after this. You're watching the Indiana Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Scott and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
Back inside the Athens Ford Arena here in Athens, Georgia. Got just about a capacity crowd. And a lot of fans dressed up in their Star Wars gear. See a lot of Jedi walking around, some Princess Leia's. Fans are having a whole lot of fun. You see right now they're looking just inside the Athens zone. A little patch of ice that they're trying to clean up a bit, maybe a divot or a hole that they're trying to fix up just a little bit. They're also doing the same thing all the way down by John Werber, just in front of him on the crease. You can see that there. We'll get the second period underway. Eventually, the second period is brought to you by Coca-Cola of Columbus. Now we got some ice maintenance, easy for me to say, coming on out. Taking a look at the crease area in front of John Werber in that spot just in the slot above the tops of circles inside the Rock Lobster zone. So taking a quick look at those. Trying to patch them up with a bit of snow, and we'll be back underway. Well, I mentioned just a phenomenal first period for the Sentinels. If you're able to walk away from the first period tied or winning, that's a win when you're on the road, and the Sentinels doing just a phenomenal job in that first period. Right from the drop of the puck, they were the better team on the ice. They wanted it more. As soon as the game started, I think it also helps too that the game started almost the same way that it did last night. A shot from, I think it might have even been outside the blue line that hit the blocker of Sales, went directly up into the air and nearly popped into the back of the net. So you see a goaltender who, may or may not be a little bit iffy in net. That gives you a little bit of a spark. And, after the Sentinels had played so well yesterday, and they know they can not only stick around with Athens, but if they're able to clean up just a couple things. I talked with Cam Yarwood after morning skate, and he said there's just a couple things that we'd like to clean up to give ourselves a bit of a better chance in tonight's game, and it's been a much cleaner game. There's a big hit right off the draw. Greco laying out Zinchenko as we are underway. Well, and Athens knows that they were outplayed in that first period, so if I'm Everett Thompson in that intermission, I'm telling my team, you better be ready to go here for the first 5-10 minutes of this period, because Athens, they're not going to be happy coming out. There's a wrist shot from Tortorella along the wall that gets blocked by Mack and flipped high through the air. This race for the puck, Panovanov chasing after it. Johnson coming down, Werber there to play it. Saves everybody from a little bit of trouble. Here's the Sentinels goal scorer, Zach Ross, leaving it for Tortorella. Hipwood Smith is trying to enter the zone. Had to tag up onside, that's why Tortorella let go of that puck. Now Maye nearly coughs it up. Tortorella hard on the forecheck, will now take it away. He's got in the corner. Maximus Merrick Tortorella out to the blue line. Neely there to intercept. And he'll move it up ahead for Gus Ford. Ford dropping it off to Greco, the trailer. Backdoor pass went off of one of the Sentinel skates and out to the blue line. Paralak carrying on for Athens. To the goal, but poke checked. Nice job, Hipwood Smith, to get in his way. And now Romeo Terrain will bounce it out to the blue line and out to the neutral zone, where Powell now trying to cause some trouble just in front of the scorer's box. Athens will come into the zone. Stopped up just inside the blue line. The Athens fans want a penalty. They're not going to get one. Here's Powell. On sides, over the line, looking in front for Colarusso. That shot blocked. Rebound. Big save made by Sales on Cunningham. Powell now a turnaround shot. Redirected by Cunningham and out of play. Boy, is that a huge stop there for Matt Sales on Cunningham, who got two on Sales yesterday. First shot blocked, second one bounces right to Cunningham. Sales able to get the shoulder on it, and then a turnaround slapper there from Powell. And if not for that netting, it's taken out that camera in the corner. I mentioned yesterday, I watched Powell in the morning skate on Friday. He was practicing on some one-timers from a similar area to that, and he could really let it fly. So wrist shot stopped there by Werbers. There's a screen in front. That's Eli Leifers driving to the net, but Werber a good stop and giving up no rebound. Nice return so far for John Werber. Now seen 12 shots on net. Has stopped 11 of them. Can be a little bit difficult. He did, like I said, he got some playing time out in Fayetteville. He only got 20 minutes, where he made 5 saves on 6 shots. But he hasn't played a full game since that last game against Topeka that he played in with Indiana. So he makes another save here in tight. Flipped out of there by the Sentinels and down. Chased down here by Dawson, who's going to save icing. Dawson will flip it back to Lees. He'll curl and throw it on goal. Sticked aside by Sales. Now Croucher and Cunningham get pulled up along the wall. Dawson coming in to help out. He'll fire one wide. Bouncing now to the near corner. Cunningham, he's got Dawson in front, unable to get the puck there. Bounces high into the air. Back to the hands of Cunningham. He'll drop it off. Snapshot for Manis gets blocked by Paralat, and he'll start back the other way. Numbers for Athens. Here they come. Dropped off by Virgili. Paralat getting around the check of Ross, but lost the puck into the corner. Now puts the moves on Ross. Out to the front of the net, rolls towards the goal, but Werber gets a glove on that, and he'll hang on to it with 17:01 to play in the second period. Good shift there from the Sentinels inside the offensive zone. Got a couple of chances. And a good job getting back into the defensive zone. That was a 4-on-2 at one point for Athens coming through center ice. The Sentinels were able to hustle back, cut that down, and allow a not so dangerous chance with that puck just rolling in on Werber. We get an illegal drop. We'll try it again. One area from last night I know the Sentinels wanted to be better in is defensive zone face-offs. Athens won a good portion of them. Now Bormanis is going to get kicked out of the face-off circles. He jumped in a little too early. Coming in to take the draw now, I believe that's Bozinchenko. This one's won by Athens. Shinkarik at the bottom of the circle to the goal, and he's stopped there by Werber. Good stop there by John Werber with the blocker. Now Zinchenko back the other way. His shot was blocked. That was Kolatarsi with the shot block. Back the other way, Athens, long snapshot, goes off the glass and took a hop right back to the middle of the ice. Werber, thankful that no rock lobsters were in the area, otherwise that might have been a tap-in. Back inside the Athens zone, spinning away from a check is Kolatarsi. He'll send it up the wall out of the reach of Johnson, who gets it right back at center ice. Near side now, Shinkarik. His cross-ice feed for Johnson bounces to the blue line. Neely there. He's pinned up. Zinchenko on him. They battle for it along the wall, and now pulled out of there by Terrain, who bounces it up ahead. Terrain in front of that clearing attempt will force Maye back. Or pardon me, that's a Hippolyte Smith. Now at the blue line, Powell, the turnaround shot. Sails wide of the goal, and now Neely will move it up ahead for Mack. Mack will pull up just inside the line, looking up in front, rolls off the end of the stick of Johnson, who more or less was trying to redirect that on net, not necessarily get a shot as he was in too tight. Maye looking up for Gus Ford. He'll hang on to it, drag around Peavy and in behind. Ford in front. Nice job by the Sentinels to converge back. 4 blue jerseys in front of the net. Tomacek will wheel it out to the neutral zone. Was stripped of it, but we'll dump it on in. It's about 5 minutes gone by here in period number 2. Maye looking up for Neely at the blue line. Redirected, though, by Cunningham. Panovanov now, a hard wrap around, deflects past Maye, and here comes Cunningham out to the neutral zone. He's got Dawson. Cunningham to Dawson, was at his feet, couldn't get a clean shot off, and actually hit Cunningham in behind the goal. So the Sentinels regain control out to the blue line. It deflects past Panovanov, who has to double back and be careful with it. Good idea there from Cunningham. He knew he had Dawson winding up for a one-timer, but the lane wasn't really there. It got deflected, the pass on the way to Dawson. And unfortunately for the Sentinels, he couldn't get a clean shot. Now a Michigan attempt there from Cunningham in tight, rolled off the end of his blade. Comes back to Cunningham. He gets taken down. Penalty coming up. Down to Bormanis. He scores! Panavov finding Bormanis at the side of the net. Sales unable to get the push off to get to the post. It looked like he slid. His skate slid out from underneath him. And on the delayed penalty, the Sentinels go up 2-1. No, he bid on the shot. He thought that Panavanov was going to throw it on net. But instead, Panavanov tosses it down low, and Bormanis had a gaping cage to fire that one home. So 14:25 to go in the second period. Sentinels now lead it 2-1. Indiana getting the opening goal here in the second period. Here's Tortorella. He'll throw it out to center ice. Zinchenko there waiting, unable to split the gap. And Paralat will look over his options. Paralat nearly giving this one up. Bormanis on the forecheck. It was hard on Paralat. Paralat didn't realize he was right on his back. Still, Athens will get into the offensive zone. Pulling up is Virgili. He'll come out to the far point where Bartuccio Pereira. He'll send one cross ice. Trying to pinch in was Bartuccio Pereira. Puck bouncing around, ends up coming back for Virgili in front for Bartuccio Pereira, but he could shovel that one on net. The Sentinels will come back the other way. Zinchenko will move it forward through the neutral zone. Sentinels are able to get three guys off on a line change there, so some fresh legs out. Leifers over the line, lets one go, blocked by Terrain, goes high up into the air but stays in play. Sentinels benches, you can hear them, they're slapping their sticks on the side of the boards there. Loving that block shot as here comes Powell spinning out to the neutral zone. He's got Hippolyte-Smith going to the net, but a good glove there from Paralat, knocking that out of midair. Otherwise, Hippolyte-Smith had a breakaway from the hash marks in. Chipped in by the Rock Lobsters. Caljan in behind, trying to pass that one out in front. It was blocked by Willette. Now Johnson on the opposite side, up top for Greco. A little out of his reach, he's got to chase it down. Turnaround shot was blocked down by Werber. Terrain has it in his feet, knocked away from him by Johnson. Mack walking up top, looking to the blue line. Greco had his shot partially blocked there by Tomacek. Tomacek unable to clear as Greco came in on him and knocked him to the ice. Now Tomacek off the glass. Greco keeps it in once more. Shot from the blue line, deflects wide of the goal. Picked up now by Terrain. He's got some space and will start moving out to the neutral zone. He'll dump it on down. Sentinels survive a pretty good shift there from Athens and keep most of the shots to the outside and allowed Werber to see just about everything. Pass up ahead for Shinkarik, out of his reach. And an icing call now coming to Athens, who is thankful that a commercial break is right around the corner. They also had some tired players. Sentinels up 2-1 thanks to a goal by Christers Bormanis, his second of the season. We'll be back right after this on the Sentinels Hockey Network. Athens. The Indiana Sentinels leading it 2-1 over the Rock Lobsters. And after the first period, thought that the Rock Lobsters would come out with a little bit more of a fervor, but the Sentinels came back with a punch of their own. They've still been the best team out on the ice. Hard work here from Cunningham, who has arguably been the best Sentinel tonight. He's been all over it. Dawson now leaving it off. Here comes Lease. He's got Cunningham coming down the middle. Lease the shot. Big save made there by Sales. He got a shoulder on it, and the rebound was swept aside. Wrapped around the wall. Neely will send it out to the neutral zone, right to the waiting hands of Christers Bormanis. He and Cunningham got a little crossed up. Lobsters will clear. Now Ford over the line. Gus Ford, nice move around a check to the goal. Dropping it off to the middle instead of throwing the puck on net. He dropped it off. Big hit on Bormanis. He gets back up, lost his stick, trying to kick that puck free. Ends up going in behind. Ford in front for Neely. Couldn't get a good shot on. Cleared out to the blue line. Greco holding onto it. Fires one off the side of the goal. Bormanis gets his stick back. Greco the shot. Save made by Werber. Rebound. Cleared out of there by the Sentinels. Cunningham. He'll flip it up ahead, and it's touched by Bormanis. Jesse Lowell back in over the line. Dips his shoulder trying to drive to the goal, but he's knocked out to the ice. Then trips up one of the Sentinels, and we play on. Everett Thompson with his hands up in the air, wondering why on earth that's not a penalty. Now Lowell leaving it off for Ford. Back pass for Ford, going to the goal. He scores! Gus Ford with his second goal of the night. Beats John Werber on a quick little passing play between he and Eli Leapers. He goes forehand, backhand, upstairs. And with 10:31 to go in the period, we're tied up at 2. Everett Thompson having some words with the officials on that missed call, the missed tripping call. The Sentinels were able to pull a power play off there, or get a penalty called against Athens there. Then maybe that goal doesn't happen, but Everett Thompson still trying to speak with the officials. Well, now hold up here. The Sentinels only have 4 guys on the ice. Did they get a penalty out of this? Yeah, Cunningham is in the box. So we're going to the Powerade penalty kill. I didn't see what had happened. But not only are we tied, but the Sentinels now going to the Powerade penalty kill. All right, so Rock Lobsters 0 for 1 already on the power play. There's a chance out in front. Stopped there by Werber on the jam shot. Out to the blue line it goes. Maye looking for the redirect there. Leafers on the back door. Did miss that by much, and the Sentinels will swat it down. As soon as I've got some information on what that penalty is on Cunningham, I will deliver it to you guys. Don't have it just yet. Now it just updated. Abuse of officials for Cunningham, so he must have said something to the referees, and they tagged him for it. Athens looking to cash in on a power play opportunity. That shot missed. Wraps around the wall. Back up top it goes. Maye's got Croucher on the near side. There's Croucher. The shot save made. Rebound. Bounces in the slot. Poked out of there, though, by the Sentinels. And Lease now possibly trying to get some numbers. He and Tortorella. Lease driving to the net, holding onto it. Nice job to fend off the check there of Maye. If anything, Lease there killing off some time on the clock. About 45 seconds left to go on the power play for Athens. We're going to get a penalty here. Going to be a roughing call. And it looks like it's going to go to Athens. Yes, it is. So with 42 seconds left to go on Cunningham's penalty, the Rock Lobsters are going to go down a man. All right, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break and be back right after this. 4-on-4 hockey coming your way. Where's Colin at? Hockey.
Scott and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
All right, so 4-on-4 we go. Croucher going for roughing. Zinchenko looking in front. That pass was blocked, comes right back to him. And he'll bank it out to the neutral zone. Sentinels will hold control of the puck. Trying to play this almost like a power play. Or excuse me, like an overtime situation where you want to keep control of the puck as long as you can. Zinchenko overskates it though in the corner. And now Paralat will move it up for Ford through the neutral zone. Ford with both Athens goals today, holding on to it, will curl away from a check. Moves up top, has some space here to try to walk down the gut. Will fire one that's booted out of there by Werber. Sentinels penalty is now over. Both teams back at full strength. Or not at full strength, pardon me. It is now a power play for the Sentinels. And they've got 1:05 seconds left on it. Here's Cunningham just out of the box, spinning away from Ford. Cunningham looking to Dawson. Dawson now finding Bormanis. He and Cunningham playing catch. Up top it goes. Walking is Willett. He's got PV near side. Elects to go to the far boards there for Cunningham. That slap shot is blocked and cleared all the way down. Werber trying to catch the Rock Lobsters in a change. Dawson quickly getting back on sides. He's pinned up there along the wall right in front of the blue line. And Athens will take it back and send it down the length of the ice. Blake Peavy will throw it across for Willett. He'll pull up, try to drop it up the wall, but ended up giving that one up. Here's a chance for Athens. In over the line. Good stop there on Virgili by Werber. Now a chance. Shinkarik, that was blocked. Back to Shinkarik again. Holding on to it. Pass out in front, right through the slot. And the Sentinels come back the other way. Maybe a 2-on-1. Here they come. Bormanis tried a shot. It was knocked away from him, and he gets sent down to the deck. Both teams now finally back at full strength. Tomacek sent down to the ice. Bodies flying everywhere. Taken by Virgili. He'll send it out to Leifers. His shot goes wide. And now we get a whistle and some more rough stuff happening in the corner. Romeo Turin getting in there. Leifers now in there. We've got all 5 guys tied up. And a bit of a line brawl breaking out now as Bormanis getting pinned down. Romeo Turin in there with Leifers. Greco after Bormanis. Romeo Turin now on top of Leifers. Colarusso still getting mixed up at the circles, and we'll see what ends up coming of this. Well, Bormanis was hit pretty hard on his way in over the line. Inside the Athens zone. It was right at the circles. He was trying to let that shot go, and he got sent down to the ice. And that might be what started this whole thing. And now we've got Malik Johnson, who's screaming at the Sentinels bench. Linesman now getting in his way, trying to become a buffer. Referees now talking in front of the scorer's box. Blake Peavy there for the Sentinels. Waiting for some answers, Carter Shinkarik. Also waiting for some answers, this time for Athens. You see more back and forth between the benches. So there you see that hit on Bormanis by Greco. Bormanis chirping at him the whole way, gives Greco a shot there. Tomacek also gets hit in the corner. Now Greco and Bormanis really start going at it here. Greco shoving at Bormanis. The play stops. Then Greco coming back to Bormanis. So Greco starts the whole thing. Romeo Terrain trying to help out. That's where Leafers comes in and everything blows up after that. We've got players on the ice. We've got linesmen on the ice. And what we thought was going to be the big battle between Greco and Bormanis ended up being between Leafers and Romeo Terrain. Leafers not wanting a 2-on-1 on Greco. And you see there Greco throwing some serious punches on Bormanis while Bormanis is prone on the ice. That is a serious no-no. So hopefully that gets looked at. Once you are down on the ice, there should be no more punches thrown. That's not how that works. But things really starting to open up here. Looks like we're going to be 4-on-4, so Romeo Terrain is going to the box as well as Greco. For Athens. So one more time, Colin. Hit me with a hockey in the chat. Where are you? So after all that, we go 4-on-4. Here we go, so Hippolyte Smith now. Evades a check and will get out to the neutral zone, trying to get back to some hockey here. Hippolyte Smith in behind the net, will come out the near side. He'll switch with Panavanov. End up taking that outside the zone, so it'll be an offside call if the Sentinels touch it. Up ahead, Athens trying to catch Indiana sleeping. Pass back to the blue line for Eric Neely. Was between his legs, and Indiana will come right back out to the neutral zone. Cunningham dropping it off to Hippolyte Smith. He's crunched along the corner by Neely. Bouncing puck. Cunningham has it at the circle. Swiped away from him by Paralat. And now Ford will motor out through the neutral zone. Gus Ford has Paralat behind him. Ford unable to drag around Panavanov, but carries it in behind. Now goes out to the blue line. Croucher around a check. Nearly lost, but gathers it back in again. Croucher firing one off his skate and wide of the goal. Panavanov will grab it for Indiana and out through the neutral zone. Panavanov over the line, gets stepped up on and has to double back. Throws this out to the blue line, his own blue line for Ouellette, but it was taken away. There's a wrist shot by Croucher, goes up over the net. Now Ouellette. Chip it out through the neutral zone. Mack back in over the Sentinel line. His wrist shot blocked by Ouellette. Zinchenko there to take it away. His backhand clearing attempt. Shinkarik holds it in at the blue line. He'll walk the line. Shinkarik now with some space. Fires. Stopped there by Werber. He'll hang on to it. 5:04 left to play in the period. 10 seconds left to go on both penalties. As we step aside for another commercial break. Things are getting wild here in Athens. We'll be back right after this on the Sentinel Hockey Network. Welcome back to Athens. There's a bike trooper in the stands. Look out. It is 2-2. There's 10 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Romeo Terrain and Greco will be coming out. And just to update you on all of the penalties in that last little fray. So Bormanis and Greco get roughing calls. Terrain and Leafers get fighting majors. So I apologize, it's not Terrain coming out, it's Bormanis. They had 90 up on the board to begin with. But it is Christers Bormanis who will be coming out of the box. So Romeo getting a fighting major. Bormanis only getting 2 for roughing. Shinkarik over the line, that drop pass taken away. Here's Dawson, maybe has a chance to get to the net. Bormanis is with him, there's the pass to Bormanis. The shot, he scores! Out of the box and on the board, Christers Bormanis hits him where it hurts, right on the scoreboard. 3-2 Sentinels. How about that? You know, I was going to make mention of the fact that the Sentinels don't want to get mixed up in the rough stuff. They don't want to get taken out of this game right now with all the stuff going on behind the scenes. They don't want, Athens is trying to pull them away from their game. Protect your players at all costs, absolutely. But that's the kind of response that you want to see for the Sentinels. This puck gets deflected out of play with 4:31 left to go in the period. Sentinels are playing far too well right now, and Athens knows it. That's why they're trying to get in the Sentinels' head, trying to pull them out of their game. So awesome work by Indiana. What a pass by Nolan Dawson to be able to find Bormanis getting to the net. Bormanis pulling it to his stick. A 2-goal game for Christers Bormanis. And Indiana, a 3-2 lead. Here's Tomacek at the blue line, leaving this one off. Walking in and shooting as Panovanov save is made. Rebound, big save by Sales again. That time on Powell trying to get his first FPHL goal. Ford now back the other way. Holding on to it, Ford looking, firing off the stick of Ross. And in behind the net. Rock Lobsters will come out with it. Pass out to the middle of the ice. Deflected away and gets bounced out into the stands. We'll get another whistle here with 3:55 on the clock. So that Bormanis goal, now his 3rd of the season, his 2nd of the game, assisted by Dawson and Colarusso. And what perfect timing. Both guys coming out of the box. That was a breakaway for Nolan Dawson if those penalties don't expire. So no matter what, a really good opportunity for the Sentinels. It turned into a quick 2-on-1. Dawson finding Bormanis. Bormanis taking it from his backhand to his forehand and lifting it over the glove hand of Sales. Sentinels regained the 3-2 lead. Great effort from the boys in blue. Croucher goes in behind the net. Out to the blue line it comes. Long snapshot here from Bartuccio Pereira. Didn't get a lot on it. Swiped wide there by Werber. Mack at the blue line, leaving it off for Croucher. His shot gets blocked on the way through. I believe that's Lease getting in the way. Jonas Lease, who was certainly banged and bruised after last night's game. He took a hit at the very end of the game that he wasn't expecting, and he was smarting afterwards. This one rolls in on net. Werber gets a glove on it. We'll get a whistle stopping play with 3:08. Yeah, Jonas Lease was limping a little bit going back to the bus, so he wasn't feeling great. But that's the life of a hockey player right there. He's still getting in the way of shots, blocking shots for his team. So we get a little rough stuff now after the whistle. That was Cunningham in the corner. Now Willette talking a little bit with Malik Johnson. Johnson now being ushered away. And Cunningham having a polite conversation. Let Athens talk all they want. Let them take runs. Let them take the penalties. They are trying to pull Indiana out of this game by trying to get them into the fisticuffs. And that is not what Indiana wants to do. They know they're outplaying Athens right now. No need to get caught up in the behind-the-scenes play. Here's Zinchenko over the line. Try to pull up and leave that off. Bormanis following up, looking for the hat. He slaps that one toward the goal. It sails. Puck was sailing wide. See what I did there? But he was able to grab that and hang on to it anyway with 2:56 left to go in the period. Face off to the left of Sales. Bormanis will win this to the walls. Zinchenko takes a hit there from Johnson, who will move it up ahead. His pass for Virgili was at the feet, carried on. Shinkarik over the line. Shinkarik shooting. Werber, big save! Shinkarik trying to go through the 5-hole, but John Werber shuts it down. A broken play there that should have ended a couple of times. Athens following up with multiple layers. Shinkarik got that puck right at about the tops of the circles and walked right in on goal. John Werber with a great save. Face off to Werber's left. Shinkarik and Hippolyte-Smith on the draw. Hippolyte-Smith able to win it. Bounced out of there by Colarusso, and they say no icing. Well, hang on, it was waved off down here. But the lead official said it was an icing, so we will get a whistle stopping play with 2:39 to play in the second. We'll do the exact same face-off with Hippolyte-Smith and Carter Shinkarik. Shinkarik now pushing it forward, trying to pass that one across, deflected in behind the net where Ross will pick it up, try to one-hand it out to the neutral zone. Unable to do so, goes back to the wall. Powell now will chop at it. And out it goes. Paralat will race after it in his own end. Chased down by Tomacek, who forces Paralat out. Shinkarik now for Virgili. His wrist shot, save made there by Werber. Bouncing puck to Johnson, who was falling. Unable to get any wood on it. Goes to Paralat. Didn't have a lane to shoot. He'll curl in the corner, leaving it off. A wrist shot by Virgili gets blocked. Hippolyte-Smith in the lane. Out to the blue line it goes. Good job, Noah Hippolyte-Smith all over Shinkarik, forcing that out to the neutral zone. Johnson now up ahead for Paralat, well out of his reach. Colarusso back to grab it. Tried to cycle that in behind the net. Didn't realize the puck still followed him. Colarusso. This time he'll exit it out to the neutral zone. That pass bouncing to Tomacek. He's got Powell going to the goal. Tomacek for Powell. Good back check though by Neely, getting right in front of Donovan Powell, pardon me. And that pass deflects up and out of play with 1:32 remaining in the second period. Both men with fighting majors out of the box. Romeo Terrain and Eli Leafers. For the first time in a while, the penalty boxes are empty. Jonas Lee's taking the draw here, going up against Gus Ford. Off the draw, the Sentinels win it. Dawson has a turnaround pass, so he's hoping for Cunningham, but Cunningham went to the goal. Dawson didn't realize it, and Athens will escape. Neely, that pass deflecting and cleared by the Sentinels to center ice, where Maye will control. Panovanov stepping up on Lowell. Lease will backhand it up the wall. Dawson there, short of center when he dumped that one down, so it's going to be an icing on the Sentinels. Quick look at the upcoming schedule. Only 3 games left in the inaugural season for the Sentinels. And it starts on Thursday. I believe that's a change. Or he just really wasn't paying attention. But I thought it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend, according to the FBHL website. All games at 8:05 out in Topeka against the Scarecrows to close out the 2025-2026 campaign. Final minute left to play here in period number 2. Maye will grab it back in his own end. He'll bank it up the wall and out of the reach of Neely and back. Panavanov there to grab it at his feet, taken out from underneath him, a penalty. So a late power play now going to the Sentinels. And 43 seconds left to play. Going to the box for tripping. Wasn't able to catch a number just yet. Looks like it's going to be Ford going to the box. So Haas Insurance power play, the second of the game for the Sentinels. They're 0 for 1 on their only opportunity so far. They'll have 43 seconds to try to get something done. They'll have a fresh sheet of ice, though, with the majority of the power play if they are unable to do so, to start out the third period. Everett Thompson starts out with Hiplet, Smith, Dawson, and Cunningham, as Dawson able to poke that puck free out towards the slot, cleared away there by Athens and all the way down. Willett and Bormanis, the defenseman. Sentinels coming into this game at 12.6% on the power play. Athens 82.6% on the penalty kill. Here's Cunningham, pass out in front. Good job by Perlat to get in the lane. He'll wrap it around, and with Bormanis coming in, trying to pinch in and keep that play alive. And wraps around and back into the Sentinel zone with under 10 seconds left to go. Maybe time for one more shot as Zinchenko will wrap it around, hoping to get that out to the blue line. It's pinned up along the wall, and the period will come to a close. So the Sentinels on the back of 2 goals from Christers Bormanis, his second and third of the season, have taken a 3-2 lead going into the third period of play. We will step aside for the intermission break and be back right after this. You're watching the Indiana Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Scott and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
After a wild period, the Sentinels lead it 3-2 after 40 minutes of play. Final shots through 2 periods are 25 in favor of the Rock Lobsters to 20 for the Sentinels in that period alone. The Rock Lobsters getting 12 shots on net, 16 shots on net. The Sentinels getting 9 in that period, and cashing in on 2 of them. Christers Bormanis getting them both with some very, very timely goals. 5.5 minutes into the first period, Bormanis on a delayed penalty got a pass from Ivan Panovanov, who faked the shot, and Matt Sales, the goaltender for Athens, thought it was coming in on net. He was screened in front, I believe, by Dawson, but Panovanov moved it down to Bormanis. He had a wide open cage to shoot it. Made it 2-1 in favor of the Sentinels. About 4 minutes later, a little under 4 minutes later, Athens would respond again. Gus Ford picking up another goal. That is now his 39th of the season, his 12th in an Athens sweater. And a nice give and go between he and Eli Leafers coming in over the line. He had a mini breakaway, went forehand, backhand, and lifted it up over the shoulder of Werber to make it 2-2. And after a whole lot of fisticuffs happen, Bormanis comes out of the box. A breakaway turns into a 2-on-1. Dawson finds Bormanis. Bormanis able to kick it to his forehand and roof it up over the glove of Matt Sales to make it 3-2. And that is where we stand here through 40 minutes of play. Once again, just a phenomenal 40-minute stretch here for the Sentinels. They've got 20 left to go. You don't want to pull your foot off the gas or get taken away from your game at all. We saw Athens trying to get into the grill of the Sentinels, start to poke the bear a little bit, try to take them away from their game, get them to take some penalties, go down a man. Don't fall for the bait there, boys. Stay strong, stay mentally strong more than anything, let them take their penalties and continue playing your game, which is beating Athens right now. The Sentinels will end up having, as you see it on your screen, 1:17. It actually reads 1:18 here inside the arena of power play time to try to get something set up early on here in this third period. And the next goal in this hockey game is going to be huge. And Athens certainly does not want to leave any points on the table, especially when they're trying to lock up first in the Continental Division. So expect a very big push for Athens here to start out the third. All right, looking around the rest of the FPHL, Port Huron 2-1 over Danbury out in Connecticut. It's a 2-1 lead there in the second intermission between those two teams. Danbury officially eliminated from playoff contention last night, so still putting up a good fight, even though they are on the outskirts. Tied up at 1 out in PD, also through 2 periods. That's going to go down to the wire once again. We know that Twin City winning yesterday put them within striking distance of the PD Ice Cats. They are now only 3 points behind PD. I believe PD would still have 4th place though, because they have 23 regulation wins compared to Twin City's 21. But in any case, PD wants to lock that one away pretty soon, not leave it up to chance. Binghamton leading 3-1 over Watertown in the second period. They're helping out Indiana, trying to get out of 7th place and jump into 6th with a couple of wins down the road here. And with some Watertown losses, that's exactly what'll happen. Columbus and Monroe tied at 1 after the first. Biloxi down 2-0 on home ice against Blue Ridge in the second period, and Baton Rouge putting a beating on Topeka 4-1 in the first. And that is your look around the league for the FPHL. We will be back with the third period in about 8.5 minutes. Don't miss any of the action. It's good stuff out here in Ankins Ford Arena. You're watching the Indiana Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
Well, we welcome you back to Athens, Georgia. Andy Petzinger here on the Sentinel Hockey Network. Happy to bring you into the broadcast booth at Aikens Ford Arena. It is a 3-2 Sentinels lead. And they will have a minute and 18 seconds left on a power play to start out this third period. I mentioned in the intermission break how huge this next goal is. This next goal is absolutely enormous in this hockey game. A 2-goal lead will give the Sentinels some breathing room, although, as I've said before, worst lead in hockey is a 2-goal lead, but a tie game gives Athens a little bit more life. We are underway here in the third period. Third period of hockey, as always, brought to you by Ryan Fur Creative. Sent into the Athens zone, knocked down there by Hippolyte Smith. He'll leave it for Tomacek, who gets sent hard into the wall, but he'll wrap it around the boards. Wrist shot there, pass out in front for Hippolyte Smith. Was at his feet, but we are going to get a penalty, and it looks like it's going to go to Indiana. An interference call is coming here. And it is going to go to the Sentinels. That's Tomacek going to head to the box. So that'll do it for the power play opportunity for the Sentinels. And what's that, Colin? Where are we going? 4-on-4. Hockey. You do it better than I do, Colin. I'll stop doing it now. All right, in behind his own net, 4-on-4 we go. It's Ross trying to spin away from a check, coughs up the puck. Here's a chance inside. In front, what a save by Werber! Oh, what a stop going from left to right. Robs Mack in front. Whistle stopping play for an offsides call. John Werber, welcome back to the Sentinels. That was brilliant. A turnover by Ross, a give and go, Croucher to Mack, and he gets all of it. And John Werber fully outstretched with the right pad. Holy cow. Off the draw, here's Zinchenko, the shot in and out of the glove of Sales. Goes to the wall, Zinchenko throws a hit. We stay 4-on-4 here for the next 25 seconds. Up the wall it comes, Panavanov going back down to Zinchenko. Or pardon me, it's Bormanis. He's got it below the goal line, does Christers Bormanis. And a man all over him, so he tries the other side, pops up high into the air, and Neely will settle it down. He'll skate out to center ice, 1-on-4, Neely around a check to the goal. Werber again! John Werber putting on a show. Gets that one with the left-handed larceny. Eric Neely wheeling and dealing through the Sentinels, gets to the net. He picked up a hat trick against the Sentinels earlier this season. Was looking to tie the game there, and John Werber said, "I don't think so, pal." Some more issues with the face-off circle. Now back to the play we go. It's a power play now for Athens. A shot from the blue line. It's gloved down and held by Werber with 18:34 left to go. We are now on a Powerade penalty kill. "59 seconds left to go on that PK with one of the best penalty killers for the Sentinels and Phil Tomacek in the box. There's Perlat at the blue line. He'll go D to D. Gets it right back up top. Has Mack wound up and waiting. The snapshot goes wide of the net. Neely back up top for Perlat. Finds Mack again. Mack down low, pass out in front, tip just wide of the net. Lowell trying to get a redirect there in front. He and Peavy battling for position, got a stick on it, but sent it wide. Clearing attempt goes right to Nolan Dawson. He'll find Lease. He'll take a little bit of time and then clear at the length of the ice. 25 left to go on the kill. Fans trying to get the Rock Lobsters back into it. Lowell had that skip past him. Zinchenko can't clear it down, hit Lowell in the shin pads. Paralat does a pirouette. Forced back though by Maximus Merrick Tortorella, and that's going to do it for the rest of the penalty. Down goes Paralat in behind, looking for a penalty. Doesn't go. We are back at full strength. There's Johnson. Gets around Terrain, walking in, shooting one, deflects off Panavanov and wide. Shinkarik holds it in for at least a moment. Tortorella, and will backhand it out through the neutral zone. Panavanov in his own end will wheel around the net. Cross ice pass right onto the tape of Maximus Merrick Tortorella. He'll backhand it in. Sentinels were finishing up a line change. Tortorella will get one himself. Left there to nobody in particular, and Powell will take over. Lee's chasing after it. Will one-hand that one to Hippolyte Smith, who has it knocked off his stick, and out to center ice. Bormanis unable to keep that alive. 16:54 to play in the third. Stays 3-2 Sentinels, and they stay perfect on the PK as they kill off that last opportunity. Shots rating 27-21 now in favor of Athens, and this one gets redirected. Look out in the crowd. This one is a souvenir for a lucky fan. Sentinels are saying it should go into the Rock Lobster zone since that's where the pass originated from. Even though it got redirected, this should be in the Lobster zone, but it's because of where it was tipped at. That's why the face-off is at the neutral zone. Zinchenko hard on the forecheck, making life difficult for the Rock Lobsters trying to go through their breakout. This one goes all the way down and will be no icing. I thought that was going to get called, but apparently it got tipped on the way through. Here's Brendan Bauer looking up ahead for Zinchenko. That pass a little out of his reach, but Zinchenko the first one there. He'll eliminate icing. Has it along the wall, pins it up there. It's a 1-on-2 as they're trying to kick away at Zinchenko. Poke that free. Sentinels still carry on with the puck. Zinchenko now thrown along the wall. They get pinned up again. Good work here by Bo Zinchenko, taking a little time off the clock, but still keeping it in control of the Sentinels. Now the Rock Lobsters will finally take it back and flip it high through the air. Terrain knocks it down. Bouncing puck, Croucher. His pass out towards the slot, intercepted there by Bauer. He'll bounce it on down. Powell couldn't pick it up, turned right back in. Here's Neely. His shot stopped there by Panavano, bounces high into the air. Neely's stick also snapped in half. Ford carrying on from the bottom of the circle. He'll go cross ice as Neely gets a stick from the bench. Back to 5-on-5. Neely with it, looking to the middle of the ice. Powell there. He'll intercept, flip it into the air and back into Athens territory, relieving some pressure. Ford moving it along for Bartuccio Pereira. Panavanov in his face, able to take that puck away, and now moving it along to Hippolyte Smith, who's got some space. Got Powell with him, will drop it off to Powell. He sent it down low. Hippolyte Smith trying to juggle that one and settle it down, unable to do so. Now bouncing into the high slot. Hippolyte Smith has it knocked away from him and sent out to the neutral zone by the Rock Lobsters. Neely leaving it off there. Offsides is Athens as Greco carried on, but Neely lifted that foot up. Turned into an offsides call with 14:49 to play here in the third period. All right, we'll step aside for a commercial break and be back right after this. Sentinels lead 3-2 on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Scott and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
Sentinels fans, make sure to get your 2026-2027 season tickets. You get a great deal on a full season ticket package. It's $300. You save $120. For a half season, it's $150. You save $60. Only from now, between now and May the 1st. So make sure to get your season tickets today. It's back to the play we go. A long shot from the blue line gets gloved down there by Werber. He'll hang on to it with 14:34 left to play. What a great return John Werber has had. He has been brilliant today, specifically in the early parts of this third period. He has had 2 different 10-bell saves to put up on the highlight reel. The first one, the lunging right pad save, is without question the save of the week in the FPHL. A battle for it below the goal line. Pops free to the near side. Dawson will swat this one out to center ice and back into the Athens zone where Ford is back to grab it. Watch there by Cunningham for a moment before Cunningham goes off for a line change. Ford around the check of Powell. 1-on-4 over the line. Ford still gets to the net, fires one just wide. Boy, you see why he's got 201 now goals in his FPHL career. Here's Powell looking for his first, leaving it off. Taken down is Tomacek. He sails into the goal and a egregious penalty, to be quite honest with you. That's the easiest call you're going to make. Tomacek gets taken down on his way to the goal. Takes the net with him. And the Sentinels will head back to the power play. It's going to be a hooking call. And Johnson getting that stick right in the midriff of Tomacek. So Malik Johnson will head to the box. At 13:49 to go. And back to the Hawes Insurance power play. Sentinels are 0 for 3 so far. Shot from the blue line by Padovanov. That's knocked down there by Sales and cleared by Athens. Werber sets it up from in behind his net. Tortorella now zooming through the neutral zone. Will gain entry. Tortorella will rag it in behind the net. Tried to pass that out in front, but was cut off. Taken away and flipped out of there by Leafers. Panovanov will grab it back. Dropping it off to Donovan Powell, who's got some space all the way back in his own end. He'll start galloping out to center ice. Donovan Powell pulling up at the blue line, will backhand it down low, rides the rail there. Look at that. That rode all the way out to the opposite side. Zinchenko unable to settle it down. There's the man who drew the penalty, Phil Tomacek. He comes out with it, puts it out to the blue line, Colarusso. There's a wrist shot. Tip in front there from Powell, goes wide of the goal. Back out to Colarusso, D to D with Tomacek. Colarusso up top to the near side. Tortorella didn't get a lot on it, but a kick save still made by Sales. Tortorella again walking to the middle of the ice with a half a minute to go on the power play. Zinchenko leaving it to Tortorella. The shot tip, they score! Donovan Powell right in the front of the net. His first ever FPHL goal. A perfect time for it on the power play. He's going to score a lot of them that way. Donovan Powell, congratulations. It's 4-2 Indiana. Great puck movement by the Sentinels. A shot by Tortorella off the boot of Powell and into the back of the net. With 12:18 left to go, the Sentinels grab a 2-goal lead. And you can hear Everett Thompson up here, at least I can. We are not done yet. Screaming at his bench, making sure they know not to let your foot off the gas. There's a wraparound chance by Croucher out towards the slot. Stopped there by Werber. Virgili lays a hit on Terrain. Lease now trying to pin this puck up along the wall and need a little time off the clock. Gets sent down to the deck, but still is able to pin that puck up. Nice job by Jonas Lease. Cleared up the wall, but not out. Blocked by Cunningham and out to the neutral zone. Here comes Dawson, one-on-one. Pulling up, lost an edge as he was going up against Paralat. Cleared out to the neutral zone where Panavano will take it back and dump it in. At least he was planning to drag it in. He lost an edge as well. And now it's outletted out by Athens. Stopped inside the zone by Zinchenko. Nice couple of moves there by Bo Zinchenko to keep it away from some checks. Sent all the way down. We're going to get an icing call here on the Sentinels. 11:20 left to go in the third period. 4-2 in favor of the good guys. Donovan Powell with his first ever FPHL goal with assists from Tortorella and Bo Zinchenko. And he deserved to get a goal yesterday. He didn't get one. Gets one today. Here's Zinchenko looking to add to the lead. Pass out front. Big save by Sales. Oh, what a stop that was on Brendan Bauer. Great setup by Zinchenko, and Bauer lob by Sales driving to his right, or diving to his right, pardon. Here's Johnson out to the blue line. Ford keeps it in. He'll cycle it down low for Leafers. He's checked by Panamanov, but still carries the puck. Leafers the backhand. Goes wide of the net. Bauer will clear out to the neutral zone. Ford there to grab it. We'll put it right back up to Leafers. Johnson over the line. Knocked away from him by Powell. Now Hippolyte Smith from below his own net. Leaves it for Colarusso, who gets drilled as soon as he lets go of the puck, but he did his job. Panavano will set it down and on goal. And with a man in Tomacek going to the net, there's no other option but to cover for Matt Sales. 10:25 on the clock. Face off inside the Athens zone. Richie Colarusso and Romeo Terrain, Romeo Terrain out there on the back end for the Sentinels. Hippolyte Smith, Tomacek, and Powell, the forward grouping here. Off the face-off win, there's a shot from Colarusso, redirected by Powell in front. Hippolyte Smith denied by Sales. Powell tried to tip that one on net, ended up knocking it straight down. And it was left there for Hippolyte Smith. He was in too tight, though, couldn't get any elevation. Now Powell will wrap it around the wall. Nobody home but Rock Lobsters. And they'll start motoring out to the neutral zone. Lowell has to double back to get this one as he overskated. He'll dump it in, and now Lowell lays out a man in front of the Sentinels bench, and Powell and throws a couple extra checks while he's down for a good measure. Inside the Sentinel zone, cross ice pass to Flex to Maye at the blue line. He'll slap it down low. Ford hit by Terrain. He's able to get the puck down low, though, was Gus Ford. Now Lowell and Cunningham battling. Ford now a couple cross checks to the back of Romeo Terrain. Pulled out of there for Croucher. He'll hold and shoot one. Goes off of Colarusso and in behind the net. Cunningham picks it up for the Sentinels. He'll start looking out toward the neutral zone, has a whole lot of space, so he's just going to take it and walk over the line, leaving it to Dawson. He'll softly put it into the corner. Cunningham waiting there. Now takes a huge check. Everett Thompson wants a penalty because he was not anywhere near the puck, was Cunningham, but we play on. Left to Bormanis, a slap shot blocked on the way through. Goes to Peavy at the blue line. He'll throw it down low. Cunningham gets tied up with Johnson in front. And now Lowell will move this out to the neutral zone. Carried on by Shinkarik. Maye leaving it off for the late man and Bartuccio Pereira, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Now Maye here in the corner. Put it in behind the net. Shinkarik in front. That was blocked on the way through. Shot attempt there from Virgili. He's got it again in the corner. PV on him, sent him to the wall. Bartuccio Pereira curling. Back to Virgili. D to D Maye. Floats one toward the net. Blocked on the way through. Panovanov getting in the way of that. Cleared out by Zinchenko. Race for the puck here. Bauer after it. Just off the bench was one of the Rock Lobsters, I believe Kolatarsi. Beating Bauer to that puck. And Athens will come back. Johnson looking toward the front of the net for Shinkarik. Pass never made it to him. And now Zinchenko. High through the air and out to the neutral zone. Greco's dump in, deflects off of Hiplet. Smith who gets in the way. He takes a shoulder from Johnson on the wall. Pinned up along the boards, killing off some time. 7.5 on the clock. Tomacek gets tied up. Knocks his man down in Greco. Boy, Phil Tomacek, 5'9", 165, just took on a 6'2", 233 player and sent him to the deck. Here's Powell on the turnover. Holding it at the blue line. Will throw it down low for Tomacek. He's tied up. They go barreling into the boards. Now chipped into the Sentinels end. Peavy hit by Neely. Johnson putting it back down low. Peavy intercepts that. He'll clear it out to the blue line. Held in though by Johnson. Gives it up to Lease. Stick in the right area. He gets it out to the neutral zone. Sent right back in by the Rock Lobsters. Dawson battling along the corner wall. Goes high up off the glass, but not out. Tipped on that big save by Werber. Ford going to the goal, trying to get a hat trick. Werber says no. Now another floater on goal. This time Werber picks it out of the air. He'll hang on to that one with 6:33 remaining in the third period. Sentinels holding on to a 4-2 lead in the third period. Don't go anywhere. We've got more hockey right after this. You're watching the Sentinels on the Sentinels Hockey Network. Capacity crowd is trying to get Athens back in the hockey game. The Rock Lobsters down by 2 with 6.5 left to go. And the words of Everett Thompson still ringing throughout this arena. We're not done yet. Do not let your foot off the gas. This Athens team can pot 2 goals in before you can blink. You've worked this hard. Don't let up now. Bormanis on the draw. Going up against Croucher. Tie up off the face-off, ends up going to the Rock Lobsters. Picked out of there by Ford. He'll walk to the middle of the ice, and Zinchenko swipes it off his stick. Ford carrying on though. Croucher in the corner. He's hit there by Panovanov, and Bormanis will take it out. Start moving out to the neutral zone, 3-on-3. Bad bounce for Athens. Off of a stanchion on the wraparound, ends up going into the hands of Zinchenko. He'll throw across ice to Tortorella. That shot gets blockered away by Sales. Tortorella again will kick this one free for Zinchenko out to the blue line, but Panovanov was not at his post, so it'll come all the way down, still in the hands of the Sentinels. Intercept there at the neutral zone. Ford, who seems to be out there almost every other shift now in the late goings of this hockey game. He'll chip it cross ice. Cunningham will walk it into the zone, try to drag it around a check, but had it knocked off his stick. Cleared back out to center where Lisa's waiting. He'll dump it in deep. Athens will chip this one in. Colarusso after. He's got Shinkarik all over him. Lease will pick it up. Will start motoring out to the neutral zone. Had some space, so he'll take it, hit the red line, and dump it in. 5 minutes left to go in the third period. Going up ahead, out of the reach of Powell, but he will win the race. Skips past Ross, but goes to our Powell. Donovan Powell. As now we've got a player injured for Athens. That's Lowell, who took a huge collision. And he's slow to get up. Here's Ross. Spinning away from the check of Mack. Well, one-handed to an open corner. Hippolyte Smith is there. He'll throw it up the wall, and it does escape out to the neutral zone. Here's Paralat. He'll walk in over the line looking for Virgili, but Bauer, nicely done, ties him up. Goes back to Paralat, trying to drag it toward the front of the net. Virgili a whack, it lays loose in the slot. A try from the side there from Johnson, blocked by Peavy, and out they come. Here's Zinchenko 2-on-1 with Bauer. Bauer over the line, back to Zinchenko, pass is blocked. Turning back are the Rock Lobsters, 3-on-2 of their own. Here's Virgili over the line, leaving it off for Johnson. Great back check there by Bormanis. Lifts the stick of Johnson, takes it away, and Bauer will clear out to center ice. That was a 3-on-2 from the neutral zone in. And the Sentinels were able to haul Tukis back into the defensive zone and deny a scoring opportunity. Bauer will bash that one off the wall and out to the neutral zone, and we end up getting a whistle, and the referee thought there were too many men on the ice, but there's just an empty net for Athens. He didn't realize it, nor did I. Athens trying to get back in this game. And Garrett Rutledge is absolutely furious. So we are not going to end up getting a too many men on the ice call. But it looks like Athens is going to go with the extra attacker, and they have taken their timeout. So 4-2 Sentinels with 3:27 left to play in the third period. Shots now reading 33 for Athens to 27 for the Sentinels. And we'll step aside for a quick commercial break. 3-2 Sentinels here on the Sentinel Hockey Network.
Vitamin water helps keep me hydrated. Encore. After encore. After encore. Next thing you know, it felt just like this. Come on. Vitamin water from New York.
My apologies, it was not a timeout for Athens, just a commercial break. But they do stay with an empty net here with 3:15 left to go in the third period. Here's Ford in behind the Sentinel goal. He's got 2 today. He's not going to score from there, though. His pass for Shinkarik got deflected away by Panovanov. Neely out to the blue line. That shot blocked on the way through. Good job by Ross to get in the way. Cleared out of there by Dawson. Intercepted by Lease in the neutral zone. He'll move it up ahead. He's pinned up along the wall, pops out to the blue line, taken back by the Rock Lobsters out to center ice. Ford and Dawson battle. Dawson wins it. Unable to get the puck in deep to the Athens zone, though, and Shinkarik will send it all the way down. Here's Werber. He'll play it along the wall. Dawson happy to eat that along the wall, but is pulled away by Shinkarik out to the blue line. Wrist shot here, stopped by Werber. Into the stomach, he'll hang on to it. 2:24 to go in the third period. Sentinels still lead 4-2. Sentinels will change up their grouping. They've got Tomacek, Lease, and Powell out there with Ross and Terrain on the back end. And now I believe a timeout for Athens. As they will go to the whiteboard. Well, the Rock Lobsters taking their timeout, trying to avoid only their 5th loss on home ice this season. And the Sentinels coming into this game when leading after the second period have a record of 7-2-2, trying to prove on that to go 8-2-2. They are 2 minutes and 24 seconds away from doing so. So the same grouping out there for the Sentinels. Virgili, Mack, Leafers out there for Athens. I see Ford in the back. Shinkarik out there as well, and there's one other number that I haven't seen yet. It's Neely along the wall. Those are the 6 for Athens. They'll win the draw. There's Ford. D-to-D for Shinkarik. Picks it, rebound, they score! First shot was stopped by Werber. The second one was in behind him. And Athens cuts it to a 4-3 lead with 2:19 to go. I believe it was Mack in front, Joe Mack. No, I beg your pardon, it's Neely. Eric Neely will pick up his 25th of the year and extend his point streak to 6 games now. So with the extra attacker out there, Athens has made it 4-3. Now Shinkarik will dump this one in. Werber grabs it, and he'll hang on to it. Offensive zone draw coming for the Rock Lobsters, and they will pull the goaltender sails once again. So the Sentinels now leading only by 1, needing to hang on now for the next 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Borman is trying to direct some traffic. He's Zinchenko and Bauer out there with Peavy and Panovanov playing D. Off the draw, goes to the corner. Athens will move it in behind. Borman there to grab it. He'll clear it down the length of the ice, looking for a hat trick just wide of the goal. It'll end up being an icing call, going back to grab that Virgili. About a half a foot left of the goalpost. Otherwise, it's a 5-3 lead. Face-off now going to the left-hand side of Werber. This is where the draw was the last time when Athens scored their goal. They won the draw back and went D-to-D real quick. A one-timer from Shinkarik. Let's see if the Sentinels are able to learn from previous mistakes. Here's the draw. Kicked out by Bormanis out to center ice and all the way back to Athens zone. Not far enough for an icing. Ford has to go back and get it. Cunningham all over him, or pardon me, that's Zinchenko. Ford out to the neutral zone, gets stopped up just in front of the blue line, carried in. Here's Neely, his pass out in front, deflected by Panavana wide. Snapshot from the wall, that's gloved down by Werber. Shinkarik letting that one go. 1:33 left in the third period. Change of lines for both teams. Sentinels now going with Dawson, Lease, and Cunningham, Terrain and Ross, the D pairing. Huge face-off here between Dawson and Mack. Mack will win it back. There's a wrist shot. Good block there by Lease. Shot from Ford. Pass out in front. Big hit by Werber. Rebound goes just wide of the net. Picked up by Shinkarik out to Ford. His shot deflects just wide, bouncing out towards the slot. Mack unable to get it there. Dawson takes it away. He'll wrap it up the wall, but not out. Ford able to seal it. Leafers in behind. Finding Neely. He'll go to the slot, whack towards the net. Werber able to send it to the corner. Diving in the corner there was Mack trying to poke it free. Terrain getting in the way. Gets pinned up in behind the net there by Dawson. Pulled out by Mack. Out to the blue line for Ford. He keeps it in. Ford holding onto it. His shot blocked there by Lease. Good stick. Under a minute to go. Leafers in the corner. Holding onto it. Looking at his options. A shot blocked by Dawson. Caught up in his gear. Poked out to the neutral zone. Picked up though by Shinkarik. He'll have to drag it all the way back as Cunningham all over him. Forces him all the way back behind the net. Great job, Corey Cunningham. 25 to go in the game. Here come the Rock Lobsters, dumped in. Panavanov, the first one after it, gets thrown into the wall. Pass out in front was blocked. Panavanov grabs it back. He'll flip it out. And all the way down, racing back to get it is Shinkarik. He's on his last breath. And he'll get there with 9.2 to go in the period. All the Sentinels need now is a face-off win and a strong clear off the glass. And they've got their biggest victory of the season. Rock Lobsters not allowed to get the final change that they wanted. They'll set up a man just behind Mack. That's Neely. Hoping that Mack can win it directly behind him. They get a quick shot on net. Now Johnson trying to push Cunningham over off the face-off. Cunningham not having any of it. It's won by the Lobsters. Shot by Shinkarik gets blocked. Ford has it at the blue line. 3 seconds, 2-1. Shot blocked on the way through. Sentinels win. Sentinels win. And now here we go. Johnson jumping on top of one of the Sentinels and throwing some punches. Romeo Terrain in there. We've got the benches starting to empty. Bauer taking some punches. He gets thrown to the ice. All kinds of chaos going on. Doesn't matter. The Indiana Sentinels taking down the Rock Lobsters. Everyone said the possibility of successfully navigating the Athens Rock Lobsters and beating them is approximately 3,720 to 1. Don't tell me the odds, and here we go. Now we've got a full-on melee in the corner. Lowell in there throwing a whole bunch of punches. Down on the ground, Virgili on top of one of the Sentinels. Sentinels coaching staff along with Seth Bacon, who was on the bench, is just trying to get off the ice. Lowell going after Romeo Terrain. Tortorella getting in there as well. It looks like cooler heads are going to end up prevailing as now Virgili trying to get in the face of Cam Yarwood, who, like I said, the coaching staff is just trying to get off the ice, and all that went down. Now Greco getting in the face of Cam Yarwood. And boy, oh boy, is this matchup next season going to be a lot of fun. Sentinels head off the ice victorious. They pick up their 14th win of the season. They have 43 points. The Athens Rock Lobsters will drop to 42-11, 1-0. They stay at 119 points and first in the Continental Division. We'll step aside and be right back with the postgame show right after this.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
Welcome you back to Aikens Ford Arena, where the Indiana Sentinels have just defeated the Athens Rock Lobsters 4-3. Last night was arguably their best game of the year, and without question, this was the best game of the season, followed up on Saturday by the Indiana Sentinels, a 4-3 team victory, a full 60 minutes. That saw 2 goals from Christers Bormanis, a goal from Zach Ross to kick it off in the first period, and the first ever FPHL goal, which turns out to be the game winner by Donovan Powell on the power play. And a 35 save performance in his return to the Indiana Sentinels by John Werber, who picks up his 8th win of the season. The Sentinels win it by a score of 4-3. And like I said, what a phenomenal hockey game that we had here tonight, folks. All the way through, the Sentinels, we're the better team. No question about it. And midway through the second period was when things started to change and Athens started to get frustrated and chippy and try to get the Sentinels off of their game. Indiana was able to power right through it, didn't take the bait at all. And came out victorious by a score of 4-3. The final shots on net, 38-27 in favor of the Rock Lobsters. Sentinels 1-for-3 on the power play. Meanwhile, the Rock Lobsters 0-for-3 on their power play opportunities. Just taking a quick look around the league, trying to update the scores for you as we go. Going into overtime is Port Huron and Danbury. That is tied at 3. Meanwhile, Twin City and PD leading that one by a score of 3-2 in the third period. Mentioned how important that game is. for both of those teams needing to get victories. Twin City is 3 points behind the Ice Cats, so they need to find a way to put up some goals on the board. Binghamton up 6-1 over the Watertown Wolves. Out in Watertown, Columbus trailing to Monroe 4-1 in the second period. Blue Ridge has beaten, or pardon me, that's going into the third period, not a final, my apologies. Beating Biloxi 5-0. And a surprise out in Topeka. It is now a tie game, 5-5 in the middle of the second period. The Zydeco had a 4-1 lead in that game at one point. After the first period, Topeka has put home 4 in the second to tie things up. Well, that is it for us here in Topeka. Don't miss our next game, which will be out in Topeka. We didn't have time to update the graphics, so my apologies. It's not going to be on Friday. Next game, according to the FBHL website, is going to be against Topeka on Thursday at Landon Arena, April the 8th. Same puck drop, 8:05 p.m. That means that our pregame show will start at 7:45 p.m. right here on the Sentinels Hockey Network. We thank you all so much for tuning in today. What a hockey game, the biggest win for the Sentinels of their inaugural season, 4-3 over the Athens Rock Lobsters. As always, a big thanks to the Ryan Furr production crew for helping us put all this together. Ryan Furr, Jordan Vickers, Thomas Voiles, Ethan Evans, Christian Totten, and company. We thank you all for your efforts. And to you fans, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a fun one to call. Hope it was a fun one to listen to. We will see you in Topeka. Andy Petzinger saying good night and happy Easter. So long, everybody.